love it when Apple events happen because, well, that's when Apple releases more great products that a lot of the times other companies just can't match. Of course, I get excited for an Apple event, and well, now that the September event just happened, let's recap everything and then hear my opinions on it because, well, of course, everyone else by now has already made their Apple event recap video, so the only reason why you'd be watching mine is you want to know what I think of it. So, here we go! Alright, first thing that Apple announced is TV Plus. Not exactly interesting. Alright, moving on. Budget iPad, as the tech community calls it. The regular consumer calls it the iPad. So, what changed? Well, we now have an updated processor. We now have the A13 chip, aka the same thing powering your iPhone 11 or 11 Pro, depending on what phone you use. And then there's two other things that I have to mention. Color options. For one, black bezels are now standard across the entire lineup, no matter what color you choose. And speaking of colors you can choose, or you no longer can choose, they removed the gold option! No! Why? Why'd you remove the gold option, Apple? And then the other feature that is actually, I was very surprised to see actually come to the iPad, the $329 device, mind ya, and this came straight from an $800 device. The budget iPad has center stage! That is so cool! Alright, moving on because, well, yeah, iPad hasn't changed much. Oh, one more thing about the iPad. Storage has finally increased. I don't know why they stuck with 32 gigs for so long because it never really is enough today. Thank you for finally updating that, Apple. Alright, next we have the iPad Mini 6. I'll be honest, this is a pretty cool iPad. First of all, this is the second iPad ever to get a flash. The iPad Pro was the first, obviously. So this is the second iPad to get a flash on the back. This iPad also has support for Apple Pencil 2, magnetically attaches to the side of it. And because the Apple Pencil 2 is so large and the device is so small, they actually move the volume buttons on the same side that the power button's on. I don't know why people have complained about it, but you know what? To be honest, does it really matter where the volume buttons are located? Oh wait, I have advocated that volume buttons and power buttons should not be on the same side of the phone. Touch ID has also been moved to the power button. I really wish it was Face ID because, in case you forgot, eczema. And then it also got the all-screen design treatment, which looks amazing in that form factor. In fact, the form factor itself has actually stayed the same. It's just the display size has increased to 8.3 inches. That's bigger than my previous tablet. And we also got USB-C. Thank you, because I don't know if you know this, but I refer to USB-C as the superior port for a reason because it literally is the superior port. Don't argue with me. Overall, this iPad is absolutely amazing, and in a lot of areas, it actually is a much better deal than the iPad Air despite its screen size. Reason being, well, the iPad Air has the A14 chip, the iPad Mini has the A15, so it's more powerful. The iPad Mini also has center stage, just like the budget iPad, because of course, if Apple's gonna bring it to the budget iPad, then the other higher-end iPads should have it too. So how come the iPad Air doesn't? The iPad Air already looks like a pretty bad buy at this point. It's too similar to the 11-inch iPad Pro. The iPad Mini technically has more features at a lower price. The only compromise you have to make is the screen size, so wow. Apple, you might want to update the iPad Air because at this rate, wow, you're going to see the sales of the iPad Air are going to start to drop. I have two complaints about the iPad Mini, and this is just personal for me. First of all, the colors. I'm sorry, the colors suck. You know why? Because black is boring, white is also boring, or actually in this case it's Starlight. And then the other two options, pink and purple. I think those colors would work much better for the ladies, not exactly the gentlemen. So, yeah, not exactly a fan of the colors because the non-lady colors are, well, pretty boring to be honest, and the other two are lady colors. So, Yeah, I'm not really happy with the color options. I think they're pretty bad. Then again, well, that's just me. And the other problem I have with it, and this is just me in general, I'm sorry, but the primary reason why I won't buy this, despite what an amazing price it has, is because screen size. It's a mini. I don't like small screens. So I will say, for the people that do like small tablets, and I know there are those people out there, for the people who like small tablets, get this iPad mini 6. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I just can't get it because I am big screen everything. Also, I need Face ID. I can't use Touch ID. Alright, that's the iPad line. Now let's talk about the Apple Watch Series 7, shall we? Okay, the reason why I'm acting a little weird about this is because, well, this was a weird one. John Prosser and Renders by Ian had essentially leaked a design of the Apple Watch Series 7, and well, to be honest, I thought it was pretty amazing. I thought it was a little odd, but I got used to it very quick. Everyone has been advocating for a squared off Apple Watch because, I mean, the MacBooks have been squared off, the iPad is squared off, the iPhone is squared off, so isn't it time for the Apple Watch to get squared off? Well, the reason why I never really liked that idea is because squared off things are not nice to hold and wear, except when I saw the renders that John and Ian came out with, I actually thought they could get away with that particular design. Except, well, we never actually got that design. We still have the same rounded edges like I have on my iPhone XS Max. Thank you! So despite that, it's not the design everybody wanted and everyone was really banking off of. I do have to admit, since the screen got bigger, and big screen everything, big win! Oh, and it's even bigger win because, they still get the blue! So, I was originally planning on getting the Series 6 at some point, depending on if my budget ever allowed me to. Though, I decided to hold off because I'm trying to replace my MacBook since, A, my charging cable actually ripped. So, yeah, I can't charge my MacBook, literally, because my cable ripped. And this thing is way too slow, so I have been working on replacing that MacBook. No Apple Watch for me just yet. And I was a bit nervous because I wanted to keep the rounded off design since my iPhone still has its rounded off design. After all, I use the XS Max. So, I was really torn on whether I should get the 6 or find a used 6 or get the 7. And looks like I can get the 7 because A, they kept the blue color, and B, they kept the rounded off design, and C, the display is bigger. Biggest win for me yet. Thank you, Apple. It's just currently not available right now. I don't know why, but it doesn't really matter to me because I'm still prioritizing the MacBook first. Alright, that's the Series 7 with the bigger display and all that, and I really like it. Can we move on to the iPhones next? So, the iPhone 13. I really thought it was going to be the 12S. I was banking on it being the 12S. I'm surprised it was the 13, but it's 13. Cameras. Every iPhone after the iPhone XS and XR I really did not like because the camera bumps are hideous. I'm sorry. I do not like the camera bumps. The iPhone 13 is a tad more forgivable. I don't know why, but primarily it's because I see dots, one dot in each corner of the box, so it's got a little bit of rotational symmetry, not perfect, but a little bit, so I'm a little okay with that camera bump design. But even Apple had to admit, they pretty much changed it just so that way you have a way of actually telling if you have a new iPhone or not, so okay, don't know what that's for. But the ultra-wide lens finally got a decent improvement that to the point where it's just not noticeably worse than the wide angle. 10-bit Dolby Vision HDR, whatever it's called, you can now film that at 4K 60 FPS. That was previously reserved for the pros, but now it's on the base iPhones. Oh, we also got better battery life, and the iPhone mini seriously needed that. The iPhone 12 mini battery life is so bad, and I wouldn't have gotten it anyway because small screen, but if I did, I could never live with the battery life like that. Thank you for improving that, because it's not good, and it's kind of obvious because small phones mean you can't fit as big of a battery. So good thing they increased it this time. And the biggest thing that everyone has been itching for, we got a smaller notch. Yay! As Apple refers to it, they have managed to fit the Face ID sensors in a 20% smaller enclosure. So for those of you who have been dying for a smaller notch, here you go. Storage options have also increased to 128, 256, and 512. Not bad, to be honest. Colors, because this is another odd thing. We've got Midnight, Starlight, some Sunset Pink, I think it's called. I don't remember what they call it. Product Red, and don't remember what they call the blue. I think it's just blue. So 5 color options again. And question, is that pink iPhone really pink? Because I can't tell. All right, let's move on to the more exciting phones. And I say that because actually this really got me interested despite how much I hate the Pro camera bump. Let's get into this. So the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro, we have obviously the same smaller notch, bigger batteries again, and now the 12 Pro Max has the best battery life ever in an iPhone. Yay. Oh, here's one a lot of people have been excited for. 120 Hz ProMotion display. It's finally here. And honestly, I like that because I got to play around with an iPad Pro at my local Walmart. And 120 Hertz? That's amazing, actually. I love how buttery smooth it is. Something I can hardly wait for when I get my iPad Pro after I get the MacBook. Oh, did I mention that the displays on all phones got brighter? Then let's talk about the part that I'm mostly interested. I mean, 120 Hertz is cool, but I'm actually more interested in the cameras because holy crap, did the cameras take quite a big leap this year. The addition of an ultra-wide lens on the Pro, that was pretty cool. And then they upped it with ProRAW and 10-bit HDR, Dolby Vision, whatever it is, and sensor shift on the 12 Pro cameras, which I already thought was a big step up. And now we got an even bigger step up because now the iPhone is capable of recording ProRes. Now there is a catch to the ProRes. You have to have 256 gigs or more, and what I mean by or more is 512 or the new terabyte option. Why is that? Because believe it or not, ProRes actually takes up a lot more storage than you think. So they do this actually just so you don't fill your storage up right away. So yeah, ProRes, and considering that my MacBook Pro is on the priority, this might actually make it on my shopping list because I've had no reason to upgrade my phone because I love the XS Max. It's still my dream phone. Even though the 13 Pros are a thing now, I'm sorry, the XS Max is still my dream iPhone because I've never seen a phone more beautifully designed. I'm sorry, Apple, you gotta clean up the camera bump if you want me to switch my SIM into another one. Night modes are also better. We also have very cool DSLR-like functions. What I mean by that is background blur. So basically what they're doing is they're shifting focus from one face to another in the video depending on who the subject is. So that way the rest of the background can be blurred out just like in professional movies. This is cool. What's even cooler is you can edit it after you record it. You can change it later. We are really getting close to iPhones starting to be able to replace cinema cameras to the point where the only thing that they can't do is infinite quality zoom. You can zoom to either 100 or whatever and not lose image quality. That's pretty much going to be the iPhone's main limitation. That's pretty much going to be every smartphone camera's limitation. But with the iPhone, wow. We are getting so close to actual cinema grade stuff. And the reason why I'm interested in the 13 Pro is because of the camera. I'm possibly thinking of buying that and using that as my YouTube network's dedicated camera. Now, albeit it's expensive, but then again, if I were to go with any other video camera, it would also be over $1,000. So why not get smartphone functionality out of it? Like AirDrop, hello, AirDrop is amazing. So, okay, yeah, I'm excited for the 13 Pro's camera, and that's the biggest thing I'm excited about with the 13 Pro. 120 Hertz is cool too, but camera is my deal. Even though I still hate the camera bump. Apple, clean it up, please. Oh, and then the color options. People thought there was going to be a bronze color option. No, it's just another form of blue, so you know what? I don't think it's as good as the Pacific Blue, if I'm being honest, but it's still blue. Really considering getting a Sierra Blue 12 Pro Max with more than 128 gigs because I'd like to be able to record ProRes. I don't have to worry about my Max editing it anymore. The reason why I don't film at 4K is because there's no way this thing's gonna handle it. Neither my 2011 MacBook Pro, so I don't film in 4K already. Imagine if I tried ProRes. Ooh, that's going to be hard on these things. So by then we'll have the MacBook. So yeah, that camera is in pretty big interest of mine. That's pretty much what I thought of the Apple event. Really great. Keep it up, Apple. Alright, thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is Alpha DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.